I'm Lucy. I'm sure you have already heard enough nightmare mother-in-law stories, but I have a different story for you. I will tell you about my nightmare father-in-law. Ricky, my now husband Evan, was actually my fiancé when this happened. We had been happily engaged for like 3 months when Evan came home to tell me, "My dad wants to move in with us, Lucy." He said that he got evicted and had nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. I didn't say anything. "Oh, that's a pretty specific demand. Can't he just rent somewhere else? Why does he need to move in with us?" "I have no freaking clue, Lucy," he said. He said that he was low on money and couldn't afford rent right now. Maybe that is why he got evicted in the first place. I don't know what to do. Even seemed to be at an impasse with his dad. Some background on Evan's family is needed for you guys to understand the situation better. Evan's parents are divorced and don't even talk to each other anymore. His mom walked out on his dad after years of verbal abuse. Ricky was somewhat of a staunch patriarch and always demeaned women. I have met that man twice and understand why Evan's mom left. Now, Evan grew up in both his mom's and dad's households. His dad was very controlling and never let Evan show his emotions. A lot of other things happened which ultimately made Evan go low contact with his dad. His father, of course, doesn't think he is the problem. He thinks that Evan is just weak. When suggested therapy, his dad simply said that men don't go to therapy. You get the picture. They talked very rarely, but Ricky had been reaching out more often after my engagement with Evan. It was kind of suspicious. I will say that I wasn't exactly thrilled at the idea of Ricky living with us. I owned my house outright, and I didn't want some patriarch trying to order me around. But I also wanted Evan to try and see if his father had changed. So I said, "You can let him stay here for some time, Evan. Make sure he knows that it's not permanent." "Are you really okay with that, Lucy? I don't want you to be uncomfortable and miserable in your own house. You know how my dad can be." "I know, Evan. But it's been years, and it looks like he is trying to make amends with you. Just give him a chance and see. That way, you can always say that you tried." "All right, Lucy. I'll tell him that he can stay for a few months. But if he tries something stupid, you will tell me, and we will kick him out." So Evan decided to give his father a chance and told him to stay with us. His father was elated and thanked him for his assistance. But his mother had personally called me up and told me that it was a good idea. That made me very, very scared. But I didn't stop moving. I knew that I wasn't really going to be bullied out by Ricky, no matter what. Besides, my soon-to-be mother-in-law also offered to help if I needed to deal with Ricky. I was confident that everything would turn out fine and there wouldn't be many problems. Oh boy, was I wrong. Ricky moved in with us and immediately started to criticize my decor. He loved the house, but he hated the decoration I did inside. He turned up his nose and said, "Who the hell decorated this house? I'm guessing it was you, Lucy. No man would live in a house like this." Yes, it was me who decorated it. Even told me to go ahead and do what I liked. He didn't have any preferences. "Oh, please. I know you pressured him into this. Even has been acting differently and forgetting that he shouldn't be manipulated by any woman. But it will change soon. I have come here to make sure you don't take advantage of him anymore. I'm not sure how I am manipulating my fiancé in any way, Ricky. And I would really appreciate it if you don't speak to me like that." Ricky simply ignored me and went about his way. It was bizarre how rude he was to me. When I was home, he kept ordering me to cook for him and bring him stuff. I am not a homemaker and actually work from home, but Ricky treated me like his personal assistant. Eventually, Evan noticed these things and told his dad off. He said, "My wife is not your servant, Dad. You need to stop ordering her around. You are a grown man and perfectly capable of doing things on your own. Women are meant to take care of men. You've been giving your fiancé too much priority, and you aren't even married yet. Look how she complained to you, and it has only been 2 days. Lucy didn't complain to me, Dad. I can see how you have been ordering her around. Besides, I'm her fiancé, and she has every right to complain to me about people making her uncomfortable. What has gotten into you, Evan? You should let her know her place. Pampering her and shielding her is not a solution. She will end up being in control of your life and take everything from you. One of these days, you will wake up and realize what a gold digger your fiancé is, and you will be sorry. I will say this once, Dad. You will never speak about my fiancé like that. She is not a gold digger, and you will not insult her again. This is not your house, so you don't get to say what happens here. You are a guest, and you need to remember that. Don't take our generosity for granted. Ricky seemed taken aback by Evan's behavior. He shut up really quickly but was red with anger. I was baffled to know that he expected me to be at his beck and call like a servant. I was already starting to question my decision, and so was Evan. We talked about the situation and decided to give Ricky a little more time to adjust. The next few days were slightly better. Ricky still ordered me around, but not as much as before. However, I often saw him try to move furniture or take down my decorations. I simply didn't want an argument with him, so I avoided confrontation, but that was a mistake on my part. About 5 days after Ricky moved in with us, I came home to my bags packed and out on the patio. I was out grocery shopping and had no clue why my stuff was sitting outside my house. I rang the doorbell and Ricky came out with a smug look on his face. I was honestly pretty confused about what was going on. Evan had already left for the office, so I had to talk to Ricky to figure out what was going on. What is this, Ricky? Why is my stuff outside? Did you do this? Oh yes, it was all me, Lucy. I had to make sure you don't make excuses to go inside when I tell you what I'm about to tell you. I am honestly very confused, Ricky. You need to tell me what the hell is going on. Well, I'm kicking you out of my son's house. You will leave and find a different place for yourself. It took me a while to register what he was saying. It was simply too bizarre and sudden for it to make sense to me. I was already feeling uncomfortable with the fact that Ricky went through my stuff and packed it up for me, but the most upsetting fact was that he was trying to kick me out of my own home. I also didn't miss how he called it his son's home. Everything just made my head spin. I looked at Ricky and said, "You have to be kidding me. What the hell are you even saying?" You heard what I said, Lucy. I'm the head of this house now, and I won't allow a gold digger like you to stay here anymore. You are freaking crazy, Ricky. This is ridiculous. You can't just kick me out of the house like that. Did you even talk to Evan about this? I can and I will, Lucy. I don't need my son's permission for anything. I'm his father, so he will agree with whatever I do. But why are you even doing this? You are not making any sense. What's the point of kicking me out? I won't let my son hand over his house to you. He can be a little knave when he's with you. Also, I've seen how you manipulate him into doing women's work. I need to save my son. By kicking you out, you think I don't know your intentions. Oh, really, Ricky? Then enlighten me by telling me what exactly are my intentions. I'm not stupid, Lucy. I know you will somehow make Evan share his house with you. I know women like you. You will marry Evan for his money and then divorce him so that you can take his wealth. The moment you marry him, you will make him give you the house. I won't let that happen. So your plan is to kick me out of the house, and then what, Ricky? How will this make any difference? Well, after I kick you out, I will make my son sign over this house to me. He knows that only men should own houses. I will take my time and make him sign over this house before your wedding. That way, you will never have any claim over this beautiful house." I literally laughed at Ricky while he told me his elaborate plan of making the house in his name. He did think about this a lot and came up with a plan he thought was perfect. He was convinced that his son, who doesn't even like him anymore, would hand over the house to him just because he's a man. He was delusional to think he had that much power over Avon. He was going to get the shock of his life soon, and it will be for 2 different reasons. I got the first opportunity to tell him how his plan wasn't foolproof. I said, "Ricky, that's a great plan actually, but I don't think it will work at all. Here you wasted all your time and energy for nothing. Oh, don't act smart with me, Lucy. I won't let you manipulate me or my son. I will get through his head faster than you can. I will make him see the truth and hand over the house to me." "I don't think he can just hand over the house to you, Ricky. You may have some misconceptions about this house." "What the hell do you mean?" "Have you already asked Evan to make you a co-owner? I won't let that happen. I won't let you steal this house. I don't know how it would be possible for me to steal this house, and I don't know why you keep calling this your son's house, Ricky. This house was never your son's to begin with." "What? Don't you freaking lie to me, woman. I know for a fact that you are not renting. My son has said that it is personal property, so I know this is his house." "Even didn't lie, Ricky. This house is personal property, but it's not his. The house is actually mine. I am the sole owner of this place." My soon-to-be father-in-law looked shocked when I revealed the truth to him. It was like he couldn't comprehend what I had just said. My super-patriarchal father-in-law couldn't believe that a woman, especially like me, could even own a house like this. For a moment, he stood there in shock. But then he surprised me by bursting into laughter, like I had told a joke. "That was a nice one, Lucy. You are a funny woman, but you are also delusional. This house is not yours. It belongs to my son. And like I said, I won't let him hand it over to you." "I'm not joking with you, Ricky. If you just let me inside the house, I can even show you the proof that this house belongs to me. I got it shortly after Evan proposed." "That's impossible. You are lying to get rid of me. A woman like you cannot own a house. You are bluffing. It won't work with me." "Is that so, Ricky? Do you really think I'm bluffing? Why don't we call your son here and ask him? He will tell you the truth, right? Let's see what he has to say." Ricky was confident that I was lying to him. In his smugness, he told me to go ahead and call Evan. I immediately called Evan and told him that he needed to come home immediately. Evan was a little concerned and got to the house in record time. When he got out of his car and walked towards us, he noticed my bags outside. He looked really confused about why my stuff was lying around in the front yard. He walked up to us and said, "What happened? What's going on here, Lucy? Why is your stuff outside?" "Well, your father had the bright idea of kicking me out today. He even kindly packed my bags and brought them outside so that I won't waste time packing." "Wait a damn minute. What did my dad did what?" Evan was genuinely surprised and super angry. I looked over at Ricky and saw that he was a little uncomfortable. In his quest to prove me a liar, he forgot the fact that he was throwing me out of the house without even consulting Evan. When he looked at his son's angry face, he realized that things would not be as easy as he had thought. He quickly took hold of the conversation and said, "Evan, I promise I have a reason to do this. I know I should have talked to you, but I am the man of this house now. I did what I thought was right." "What are you talking about, Dad? You are not the man of the house. You were just a guest, and you had no right to try and kick my fiancé out of the house." "Come on, Evan. You know well enough that I will always be the man of the house, especially since I'm here now. I'm the father, after all. Did you forget everything I taught you? Oh, I do remember whatever you had taught me when I was young. They are useless and do nothing but put you in control. You groomed me to accept whatever bad decision you made for your own benefit. Ricky now looked even more shocked with the way Evan talked to him. I was so freaking proud of my fiancé. I didn't even have to say anything at all. He was super angry at Ricky and lashed out at him for trying to kick me out. And he got even more pissed when Ricky tried to sort of discipline him and claimed to be the man of the house. Ricky was now visibly shaken and said, "That's no way to talk to your father, Evan. This is not what I taught you. I see that your fiancé has already started to turn you against me. Now I'm even more convinced that I'm doing the right thing by throwing her out. No one has taught me anything, Dad. I realized a long time back what a selfish and egotistical jerk you are, and you have no right to throw my fiancé out. How the hell do you think this is okay? Why do you think I will support this? Evan, you need to hear me out. This woman is already poisoning you against me. I'm seeing this with my own eyes. Eventually, she will marry you and make you hand over this precious house to her. You will lose, Evan, and I'm trying to avoid that." "Oh, really, Dad? You seem to have the exact idea of how Lucy will make this house her own. Listen to me, Evan. Let's kick Lucy out, and then you can sign over the house to me. That way, your house will be safe even if Lucy tries to divorce you." Ricky thought he was being smart in his explanation. Honestly, I still couldn't understand if he was that dense or just seriously messed up in the head. He didn't even stop to think how his son would react to his grand plan. He was just so sure that his son would agree with him and throw me out. Well, he looked really shocked when Evan practically yelled at him and said, "How dare you even suggest that my fiancé is a gold digger when it's you who wants to take the house? You made this grand plan just so you can make this house yours. Am I right, Dad?" "Evan, you are taking this the wrong way. Lucy will take this house away from you. You need to be the sole owner of this place as a man. I'm just looking out for your best interest. I don't need you to meddle in my life, Dad. And why the hell did you automatically assume that I was the owner of the house? How is Lucy going to steal the house when it is her property?" I was smirking hard when Evan confirmed what I had told Ricky. For Ricky, this was a big blow. All his plans were for nothing. He wasn't going to have his name on the house anymore. His dreams had been crushed. Ricky was now feeling a little shaken and couldn't understand what he should say. He looked at Evan with a dumbstruck expression, willing him to say that he was joking. I decided to do a little victory dance in my head and poke fun at Ricky, saying, There, Ricky. Your own son cleared it up for you. This house is mine and not his. That is impossible. Evan is lying to protect you. You are not capable of buying a house." "Oh, shut up, Dad, for God's sake. Lucy's perfectly capable of buying a house on her own. She doesn't need to steal it from someone like you had planned. Looks like we should be throwing you out instead of Lucy." Ricky was now visibly panicking at this suggestion. He was kind of scared that we would throw him out after this incident. He was with us for only 5 days, so it's not like he could claim tenancy or something. Ricky knew he was in deep, so he tried to deflect and make it seem like it wasn't a big deal. He laughed nervously and said, "No, now don't joke with your poor father. We don't need to do anything drastic." "Oh, yes, we definitely need to do something drastic, just like you did." "What's the matter, Dad? Can't take the same treatment that you dish out. Come on now, Evan, this is just a simple misunderstanding. Your fiancée is very smart with money. I'm impressed with her." "I don't think she's really impressed with you, Dad, especially since you didn't even apologize to her." "Oh, right. I'm sorry for the misconception, Lucy. You can come right back in. This is your house, after all." Ricky was now changing his tactics because he had no place to go. I could feel his nervousness and was kind of feeling good about it. But if he thought I was going to let him get away with this behavior, he was dead wrong, and I didn't buy his apology at all. "I don't know, Ricky. You were right. I can go back into the house since I own it. But I don't think you can." "What do you mean, Lucy?" "The fact that you just tried to kick me out isn't sitting well with me. You also touched my stuff without my permission. I don't trust you around my house anymore." "Oh, come on, Lucy. It was a simple misunderstanding." "Don't make it into a big deal. Let's just go back in and forget what happened. I already offered you an apology, am I right, Ivan? I don't think your apology would make a difference anymore, Dad. You crossed your limits and showed us exactly who you are. I don't want you in the house either, but it's Lucy's decision to make. What do you say, Lucy?" "Well, I say that you are not welcome to stay at my house anymore, Ricky. I will be respectful towards you and let you pack your own stuff, but I want you out today. You are not welcome to stay here. In fact, you were never welcome to come back here for any reason. Yes, I was kicking my soon-to-be father-in-law out of my house. What he did was unacceptable, and I wasn't in the mood to give second chances. His own son didn't want him around the house either, and that sealed the deal for me. I was proud of Evan for standing up for me. However, Ricky was not in a good position now. He was really anxious and kept telling us that we were making a big deal out of nothing. Ricky tried for a few hours to change our minds. He kept pleading with me and asked for forgiveness multiple times. It was somewhat satisfying to see him ask mercy from a woman. Serves him just right after the stunt he pulled on me. He also tried to make Ivan change his mind about kicking him out. After a while, Ivan and I both got tired and threatened to call the cops if he didn't leave. That got him up on his feet and right into packing. When Ricky was finally leaving with his stuff, he looked miserable and hung his head in shame. As a final parting gift, we told him never to contact us anymore. Ivan went one step ahead and uninvited him from his wedding. Ricky once again pleaded with us for a second chance, but it was just not happening. He went on to live with a sister of his who doesn't take his nonsense at all. She came to our wedding son's father-in-law and told us how he had been schooled into submission at her house. He is now living a miserable life, working a low-paying job, and being dependent on a woman.